All right. I've been working my way up to this one because this work is extremely important to me, part of the foundation of what I call total text. And I've covered this work many, many times before, and at the risk of sounding like a majorly pathetic fanboy, it is really, really stinking good. And that's, of course, Bittersweet Candy Bowl by Veronica Vera. Now, this series is it's a web comic or a web graphic novel, really. I mean, it transcends, in my opinion, most of the genre definitions for comic and becomes more something that's much more literary and artistic. And I know that that's going to make a lot of you roll your eyes, but I'm a literature teacher. I get to do that. The reason I love this series so much is because it's probably the first work that I ever just really got heavily into that was so predominantly web-based. Veronica's story obviously is that her work is self-published. She has help from her husband slash partner Oliver, and they've managed to create a text that is so well executed that I use it as the foundation of my literature classes. First I was using it in American Lit, but I've actually moved it over to English 1102, which is more an introduction to literary terms and literary theory. The reason I value this work so much in the classroom is because my favorite philosophy is existentialism. I don't want to go into a whole bunch of stuff about existentialism right now because I'm going to lose almost everyone out there. But existentialism deals with authenticity, responsibility, our potential to lie to ourselves and deceive ourselves. It's an amazing philosophy with an amazing history, and I've read almost everything Jean-Paul Sartre has ever written on the subject. I always wanted to teach literature with existentialism, but it's incredibly difficult to do that because it's an abstract theory. Bittersweet Candy Bowl works so well in this regard to illustrate the terms of existentialism and the concepts that what ends up happening is I can get arguments going in my class, and most of my students will kind of fight against each other on which of the characters in this book are in bad faith, which of them are in dread, which of them are making authentic decisions. And because they get into conflicts, and because they actually argue each other on this point, that's like one of the highest examples of learning in literature is when we actually get to the point of debate rather than just, rehashing old concepts. Now, I really need to showcase these, and I am covering Veronica for a very special reason. These are the physical copies of her work. I've gotten 2 of them, and I hope to get the 3rd, hopefully the 4th very soon. Even the actual hard covers of these things are just absolutely beautifully done. I mean, for a total text, as I've named these, the quality is just phenomenal. Veronica is an artist and a writer who has not filtered her material through, mountains and mountains of editors. Her piece is very much, an expression of the collective will and the collective feedback that she's gotten from a whole bunch of people. And she's managed to produce something of such quality that it's really hard to read the series and not get very attached to the characters, not have that person that you root for. And it's just extremely well done, especially when you start at the very beginning, when Veronica herself was very much in development as an artist, and you get to see her style evolve over the years, culminating into what she has now that is just so brilliant and so her that the style has gotten more cartoonish over time, which directly contrasts to the very heavy subject material. Now, the subject material itself is a basic high school romance drama. And again, a lot of people out there might be rolling their eyes, but I cannot even begin to stress how well done it actually is. That it's at once enthralling, it draws you in, and still manages to be incredibly realistic, all while very very aware of and I know I'm getting a little flustered here, but it's kind of like meeting William Shatner when I talk about this book. That's how much I like it. It has so much fan service in it for people who like video games and anime, people who grew up in the 90s and in the 2000s. There's just so much material here. Now, I want to include her in the list of people who are total text, self-published indie authors, and bring her out today for Author Day, and also to bring attention to her Kickstarter. I have already backed it very, very enthusiastically, but if you haven't gotten a chance, please go to the website, look at the work, give it some consideration, because the products that she's produced and the stuff that she has created over time, I can't think of a better recommendation to experience a total indie author text. It's just perfect in every way. So that's Total Text number 3, and thank you very much.